Kazakhstan marks the State Symbols Day. The national flag, the coat of arms, and the anthem of Kazakhstan were approved 27 years ago on June 4, 1992. This marked the beginning of the new page in the history of Kazakhstan as a new and independent state. The blue canvas of the flag depicting the sun and the silhouette of a soaring eagle was designed by artist Kenen Azerbayev. The coat of arms of a sovereign country is a result of a tremendous work and creative searches of architects Zhanarbek Malybekov and Shota Walikhanov. Since 2006, popular My Kazakhstan song has been the country's anthem. The song was composed in 1956 by Shamshir Qaldayakov. The lyrics were written by poet Jibek. Kazakhstan's first president Nur-Sultan Nazarbayev updated the original text before it became an anthem. Various celebrations, public events, flash mobs, and concerts are held today across Kazakhstan to mark the special day.
Kazakh enterprises successfully operate in the Eurasian Economic Union area. There is a company which manufactures hangar tents in Kostanai region. The output of the enterprise is being sold in Russia. The company managers introduce latest technological solutions in order to keep up with the time and be competitive in the market.
Наша собственная разработка. Мы считаем, что в мире такого нет, по крайней мере, мы такого не видели. Вот это энергосберегающий ангар.
According to the director of the enterprise, Alexei Aman, the hangar's dark part serves as an air cushion for the hangar. For instance, it was -20 outside, and in the tent it was about 30 to 40 degrees plus. Thus, we can have the above zero temperature without consuming power. We are planning to set up 6 ventilators and a small solar cell which will power the ventilators to start the process. Therefore, this is a self-heading hangar. The company decided to change the construction design of the tents and replace steel tubes with fiberglass. The specialists also used sand during the production. The company, which proved to be effective in the EAEU, is set to present the new product in the global market. In comparison with the production of steel tubes, this technology is much easier. I believe that even a small or medium enterprise with 10 to 15 employees can handle the manufacturing of such items. They will just need to have a storehouse with the area of 500 square meters. Last year, the trade turnover between Kostanai Region and the EAEU countries totaled $1 billion. The regional officials are planning to increase the value by several times. Meanwhile, Kazakhstan is the second largest economy in the Eurasian Economic Union. The number of modern meat processing facilities is increasing in West Kazakhstan region, and it has a positive impact on the livestock farming developments. The exports of meat are also expanding in the region. For instance, 2,500 tons of beef and more than 600 tons of mutton were exported to neighboring countries last year. There's an enterprise which exports its output abroad in the village of Akkoze in Karatobe district. The company was launched 2 years ago. Local workers slaughtered 30 cattle and up to 200 sheep per shift.
Негізі бұл шаруа қожалықтың кешеннің біздерге бір жақсы жерлері қазір
Establishment of small meat processing facility in rural areas is profitable. People bring livestock to our meat facility from all over the district. For the convenience of customers, the vacuum meat packing is also conducted here. Last year, an additional production line for 200 cattle was installed at the enterprise.
Былтырғы жылы жаңағы субсидияға ілігу үшін ол қосымша жаңағы 200 басқа қосымша линия орнатты.
Karatobe district farmers exported 10 tons of mutton to the neighboring countries last year. The profitable export business was beneficial for the local farmers as the government pays out subsidies for every cattle sold to the meat facility. According to experts, the positive developments were beneficial for both regional residents and farmers. The government also provides support to farmers that are engaged in cattle breeding, as they are provided with special subsidies aimed at livestock breeding developments. There is a high demand for the services of the meat facility. Its output undergoes certification process. The meat is packed and delivered frozen and fresh to consumers. Meanwhile, a new feedlot is expected to be built in the region soon. The facility will be designed for 1,000 cattle. Our meat is in high demand at the moment. It is not chopped with an axe anymore. Currently, our meat is mostly purchased by canteens. We are currently planning to export our output abroad and build our own feedlot. We are also planning to engage in the fodder production, as we will start sowing fodder crops. The region sells frozen meat to Russia, Armenia, Iran and Kyrgyzstan as well, besides the domestic market. It plans to export up to 3,000 tons of beef and 800 tons of mutton this year. Kazakhstan will participate in EXPO 2020 Dubai. The country will present one of the largest pavilions with an area of almost 3,500 square meters at the World Expo. According to experts, Kazakhstan's participation in the exhibition will showcase the country's experience gained while hosting the Expo 2017 in its capital city. Experts believe that Kazakhstan demonstrated its commitment to the green technology developments. Meanwhile, hosting of the Expo had a positive impact on the country's image as well. The Expo held in the Kazakh capital is not a past international event, but an ongoing project which still exists. It is the vision of your first president, and this vision continues to change the country. I believe that Kazakh citizens should understand and realize the importance of World Expo held in your country and its significance to Kazakhstan. The Expo will be held in Dubai between October 20th, 2020 and April 10th, 2021. The World Expo will focus on 3 sub-themes such as opportunity, mobility and sustainability. The organizers expect to welcome about 25 million visitors. Kyrgyz honey has won a gold medal for quality at a prestigious competition in the UK. At the London International Honey Awards, the Arab honey boutique chain represented the Kyrgyz honey. The Arab boutique has been purchasing it for several years in the Atbashi village. Kyrgyz white honey is considered as one of the best in the world. The honey is known for its unique taste and various beneficial properties.
Uniqueness
lies in the fact that people appreciate the honey. So, this is good and unique honey. It is considered as hypoallergenic. Kyrgyz honey has won prestigious awards at competitions more than once. Today, it is known all over the world.
Наши пчеловоды каждым годом улучшают качество меда и
Our beekeepers improve the quality of honey every year. The honey will also be sold in China. Previously, our honey was sent to Saudi Arabia, the Arab Emirates, other Arab countries, Iran, as well as neighboring republics like Kazakhstan. That's how they buy from us. We want to sell our honey as a Kyrgyz brand.
От нас закупают. Мы хотим продавать наш мед как кыргызский бренд.
Yerzhan Maksim has been selling honey abroad for 9 years. Last year, her company exported 50 tons of Kyrgyz honey and received the Best Exporter of Honey and Bee Products certificate. The businesswoman believes that today, honey production needs to be addressed at the state level.
Наш мед пользуется спросом.
Our honey is in demand globally, which shows its popularity among buyers. Therefore, I think that within our state, there should be a state body that would be involved in beekeeping and training.
Орган, который бы занимался именно пчеловодчеством и обучением.
Kyrgyzstan exports honey to more than 20 countries. The geography of distribution of honey products expands every year. Tajik city East Tarafshan hosted a festival of Atlas and Adras. Young fashion designers took part in the annual traditional competition. The fashion designers presented more than 100 samples of clothing to the audience. Along with vintage bridal gowns, the designers demonstrated modern evening gowns and a children's collection. According to terms of the festival, contestants must use fabrics which are exclusively made from domestic production. In addition, the clothing should reflect the customs and traditions of Tajiks. The festival organizers say that the goal of the event is to preserve national values and traditional weaving schools, as well as support domestic fashion designers. The fashion designers who have won at the festival are now heading to take part in a regional competition. Experts forecast that more than 2 million tourists will visit the Pearl of Kazakhstan, Lake Alakol, this year. In order to attract more travelers in the region, local officials are conducting large-scale infrastructural improvements aimed to implement 7 prominent projects worth 24.3 billion tenge. In general, about 200 tourist facilities have been built on the shore of Lake Alakol within the last years. An additional 15 venues will open this year. A new health improvement center will be constructed here at the expense of foreign investment.
Общая площадь строительства это 4800 квадратных метров.
The total area of the construction site is 4,800 square meters. The cost is about $4.5 million. The facility is expected to house 48 rooms, which can accommodate 150 patients at the same time.
Одновременное заселение это 150 пациентов или отдыхающих.
Recreation management is one of the most important functions of resort and tourism experts. One of the strategies aimed to attract travelers in the region is to hold large-scale cultural and entertainment events. We have a project which organizes international and local festivals. The cost of the project is 200 million tenge. The project is set to be implemented between 2019 and 2020. The railway route going to the Alakol station located near Lake Alakol has been resumed. There are direct flights and railway routes from Nur-Sultan, Almaty and Taldykorgan. Highway repair works worth almost 300 billion tenge is being commissioned in the region. 102 kilometers of the road have been reconstructed last year. Additional 265 kilometers will be completed and commissioned this year.
We are
completing the repair works in the 120 kilometers section near the village of Kalbatau. We will continue repair works, but the highway will be operational. We are also reconstructing the 135 kilometers of the Kalbatau-Mai Kapchagai highway. We will prioritize the busiest sections. More than 5 billion tenge have been invested in the region over the last 2 years. Within this period, the tourist flow has expanded 2.5 times and the scope of services totaled 6 billion tenge. A teacher in Petropavl made the armor of Kazakh warriors. Yerzhan Maksim works at the Nazarbayev Intellectual School. He has dreamed of recreating clothing of warriors of the Great Steppe for a long time. First, he made the squamous ammunition from a material similar to bovine leather. Then he made the armor from 10,000 rings. He has recently completed work on the equipment made of metal plates. Each product weighs more than 10 kilograms. It took nearly 10 years to weave only one chain armor. This laminar type armor was very widespread among all the nations in Middle Ages. The armor was made of metal plates with an approximate thickness of 1 millimeter. Then these plates were superimposed, which made the armor pretty dense and thick. There are nearly 40 plates in one row, and here we have 14 rows. An American expert believes that Kazakh museums can be greater than museums in New York. One of the leaders of the interactive technology sector and president of an American media company, Tim Donovan, plans to demonstrate Kazakhstan's cultural traditions and achievements in the United States. Recently, Donovan arrived in Nur-Sultan and he visited a local museum. The expert was impressed with Kazakhstan's cultural heritage. Tim Donovan is set to promote Kazakh cultural values as he signed a cooperation agreement with his Kazakh colleagues.
We're doing some things in the museum, and we're going to be doing some interactive installations. So things where people can walk up and physically touch things, so they're both analog and digital. We find that the integration of both analog and digital, for the younger generation especially, is very engaging, and we feel that young people, when they go into a museum and they, traditional museums, they're just not as excited as older generations were. So we're hoping to bring some excitement and some interactivity to the museum to create those moments of engagement for the young people.
Museums are not just storehouses for historical artifacts. The modern market of information technologies offers a variety of innovative solutions, such as holographic screens, touch screen kiosks, interactive stands, and many more. The visitors can also learn about exhibits without guides using audio guide services. For instance, the service is available in the National Museum of Kazakhstan in Kazakh, English, and Russian.
In our research, it was amazing to see the things that have been invented in Kazakhstan. We think about, hopefully in the future, we can build more cooperation. You know, we have talked about possibly putting an office in Kazakhstan to train people in Kazakhstan to do what we do, and opening up our office here in New York so people can go back and forth and we can work together to build some really dynamic displays. I think the nomadic culture is amazing. I mean, one of the things we found too in our research is that they found bones here in the U.S., you know, that they think the U.S. might have been founded in North America by early Kazakh, nomadic Kazakhstan people. We found about the Kazakh people is they're very innovative. They want their museums to be on the forefront of the world of museums.
According to experts, the latest technologies which are currently implemented in the museums are appealing to both adults and children and allow to make museum tours both educational and entertaining at the same time. Kazakhstan's National Academic Library held a commemorative event to mark the 135th anniversary of the honored artist of Kazakhstan, Kenen Azerbayev. The outstanding folk poet, singer and composer was a strong supporter of the Jambil performing style, who is one of the greatest poets amongst the Kazakh people. At the moment, Kenen Azerbayev's songs are performed by many singers and musicians who represent a variety of genres, including folk music and popular songs based on the traditional art. Currently, works composed by the great poet and composer are widely popular in our country. Kenen Azerbayev witnessed multiple historical events in his lifetime. His works reflect the history of the Kazakh people. Azerbayev's performing style became popular among the Kazakh music admirers. In order to promote the great poet's works, various events attended by intellectuals and youth are being held throughout Kazakhstan. This year, in memory of the legendary composer, 13 events will be organized in 9 cities in Kazakhstan. There will be an exhibition of books of the national poet as well as a presentation of a documentary film. The first president declared this year as a youth year. We must not lose our cultural heritage since a deep meaning lies in it. At the meetings, we addressed this topic and discussed it with the youth. Young people know the work of Kenen. His spirit is alive in people's memory. I have personally recognized it and felt it. Kenen Azerbayev left a terme, tolgao, poems, and more than 100 songs that glorified peaceful life and creative work. He was famous for his vocal skills and unique talent for improvisation. His creative legacy has enriched the culture of Kazakhs and become the spiritual heritage of the country. Young Kazakh singer Yerzhan Maksim will give his first concert in the capital. The show is organized in conjunction with Capital Day and takes place at the Kazakhstan Concert Hall on June 28th.
Biz olsa Nur-Sultan қаласында концертімді өткіземіз деп шештік. Өйткені ел ордасы болғаннан кейін
we decided to organize my first concert in the capital city of our country, Nur-Sultan. I love the city. I have many friends here. I'm waiting for this show. I have carefully selected songs and repertoire for the concert. I have planned duet performances and invited stars to perform with me.
Басқа дуэттерді құрып, басқа кеш қонағы қылып әншілерді шақырып жатырық.
The young singer plans to perform exclusive songs as well as hit songs of famous composers which are popular amongst the public. Yerzhan's mother, Gulmira, says that fame has not changed her son. The 12-year-old singer from Urals has gained international popularity after participating in a famous Russian music show.
Ержанның мінезі өзгерген жоқ, бірақ жаңағыдай өзі есейе келе жауапкершілік.
I am glad that Yerzhan's behavior has not changed at all. He understands his responsibility very well. He definitely doesn't have a diva moment. Our family is very happy about it. We always guide him. Be like Dimash, grow up to be the same modest guy and don't become presumptuous.
Жаңағы мина құйып отырамыз, солай болады деп ойлаймыз.
The upcoming debut concert of Yerzhan Maksim will be available on Khabar TV channel.